Number 7. The height of the mercury in a barometer is directly proportional to the pressure of the pressure on the mercury's surface, right? Directly proportional, meaning when one goes up, the other goes up. So as the pressure that's exerted on the mercury's surface goes up, the height of the mercury goes up. At sea level, the pressure averages 1.0 atm. There's some small fluctuations from day to day, but on average it's 1.0 atmospheres. And the level of the mercury in the barometer is 760 millimeters, or an equivalent height is 30 inches. But in a hurricane, the barometric reading may fall as low as 28 inches, right? Because those types of storms are low pressure systems. And so A asks us to convert a pressure reading of 28 inches into atmospheres. Now, you might think we've never used inches of mercury before, but luckily they tell us exactly what we need to use. 30 inches of mercury is the same as 760 millimeters of mercury. And so those are equivalent distances, right? Equivalent lengths. 760 millimeters is the same as 30 inches. And so we know that we can convert from millimeters of mercury into atmospheres, but now we can convert from inches into atmospheres, right? Because we know that 760 millimeters of mercury is the same as 1 atmosphere. Therefore, 30 inches of mercury is the same as 1 atmosphere. And so my statement of equivalence will be 1 atmosphere, because that's what I want to convert into, over 30 inches of mercury. They're the same pressure. And so inches of mercury will cancel out. Atmospheres will be left over. So I end up having 28 divided by 30. My calculator tells me 0.9333 atmospheres. Well, I was only given two significant figures in this problem. 1.0, that's 2 significant figures. 760 with no decimal, that's 2 significant figures. And then 30.0, that's 2 significant figures. So my answer when I record needs to be in 2 significant figures. So I'm going to round to this spot right here. This 3 right behind it tells me to keep it the same, right? So I'm going to record 0.93 atmospheres. B asks, what is the barometer reading in millimeters of mercury at a pressure of 0.5 atmospheres? So 0.5 atmospheres. I'm going to start with the questions has me start with 0.5 atmospheres. My statement of equivalence is 1 atmosphere is equal to 760 millimeters of mercury. Atmospheres will cancel, multiply straight across, I end up with 380 millimeters of mercury. Now again, 2 significant figures here. 2 significant figures, so my answer needs to have 2 significant figures. If you just wrote 380 millimeters of mercury, that's fine because that is actually 2 significant figures. This 0 at the end is not significant because there's no decimal behind it. Or you can record it like I did over here in scientific notation, 3.8 times 10 to the second millimeters of mercury. They're both equally correct. C, can a barometer be used as an altimeter, an altimeter, which is a device for measuring altitude above sea level? Explain your answer. I'm going to say yes, a barometer can approximate an altimeter because the higher you climb into the Earth's atmosphere, which means the higher you go in the sky, the lower the pressure that will be recorded by the barometer. Because as you move away from Earth's surface, the pressure is going to be less. Atmospheric pressure is going to be less because there's less atmosphere on you pushing down on you. So it will exert less force. So there's less pressure. So as you go higher, pressure will go down. And so you will have this kind of relative sense of your altitude based on the reading from the barometer.